Hello everyone, this is Ryan from the ProfitTrailer team, also known as RF Radio, on the ProfitTrailer official support server on Discord as well as elsewhere on the internet. In this video I'm going to be going over the GUI configuration for the DCA function in ProfitTrailer version 2.1. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just dive right into it. We just click on our config button at the top here. That will take us over to our config screen. Now I've already got DCA pre-selected here, so it immediately jumped to that one. So this is a lot like the pairs GUI configuration that we went over in the prior video, and I'm just going to go through this top to bottom on here and tell you a little bit about each one of these things here. So at the top here we have our primary setup here, the keep balance percentage, max cost, and max buy times. So these are part of the general setup of DCA. Your keep balance and keep balance percentage, remember you can only use one at a time, so whichever one you are using, the other one must be 0 or disabled. For max cost, remember that is not the max cost per buy, but rather the maximum cost total that you can spend on one coin pair in DCA. 0, as I have selected here, is unlimited, so beware of using that. In my case, I have my bot limited by maximum buy times. So I can buy 3 times regardless of how much the max cost is. Oh yes, and if you click these, which I just did by accident, the headers on each one of these fields has a little tooltip and tells you what each box is for. So you may not even have to visit the wiki in order to get some help on what each one of these is. Quick little descriptions here can help you out very, very much, and so this might actually be a little quicker to find some help on it. Moving on to your buying value page here, which is in the bluish column on the left, or bluish block here on the left. You have your buy strategies, your buy values, and your buy limits here. Just like in pairs, you select your buy strategies with a drop-down menu. You enter your buy values and buy limit if you so wish. And in order to activate more strategies, you hit the little plus sign. To take them away, you hit that little minus sign. So it's pretty easy and intuitive to set this up. And remember, this is your default buy strategy. If you want to get coin pair specific, you have to go into the advanced configuration. In order to find your advanced, remember you go up here to the little gear, click your settings, and then advanced config, and then you can configure coin pair specific strategies. So we're going to go back to the basic config, or the GUI. And right to the right of your buying order setup, or your buying strategies, you have your trailing buy, min buy volume, max buy spread, min order book percentage, min buy change percentage, buy max change percentage, sell only mode buy trigger, then rebuy timeout, and then your buy triggers and buy percentage. Now the sell only mode buy trigger, that's if you are telling your bot to ignore the sell only mode for DCA, then you can specify a separate trigger for buying when in sell only mode, independent of your normal buy triggers. So that's a fun little thing you can do, and you can also define it the same way you have your buy triggers down here. See, I have multiple buy triggers, different buy triggers set. So my first one is -25%, then -35%, then -50. You can do the same with sell only mode buy trigger, because you can have more than one buy trigger. You don't just have to have the default, but you can have some buy trigger 1, 2, 3, and they're delineated the same way, just with a comma in between them. Then the same goes to your buy percentages. The comma between them denotes which one, or denotes the different percentages at each DCA level. So the first DCA buy at -25%, in this case, will buy 200% of the initial buy, and then your -35 on the second step will buy 150% of what you're currently holding, so on and so forth. So each one of these buy percentages corresponds to the complementary one in the buy trigger. So they're in the same order. Just remember, whatever order you have your buy triggers in, your buy percentage order is important because it follows your buy trigger order. So just bear in mind what you're entering here. Then we have our sell strategy page here on the right. Sell strategy is a lot like pairs. You select from the drop-down menu, just like your buying strategies. Then you set your sell values, sell value limit if you want. Yes, you can define a sell value limit now with this version. We have our familiar trailing profit type, just like in the pairs. If you don't remember what this is referring to, this is the smart trailing. Your default is your standard trailing that's been available since the beginning of ProfitTrailer. The grow is when you have your price above your gain level, or above your gain sell value. Then it will continue growing in size. The trailing profit will increase in size the higher up it goes. So that's a more risky strategy, a lot more aggressive. And then you have your shrink, which is as the price goes above your gain sell value, then your trailing profit will shrink. So it'll be a lot more conservative, and it'll get to a certain point where just a minor pullback will make it sell. So bear in mind this can be very conservative. So that's your smart trailing type. And then you have your max profit. Of course, if you don't remember what max profit is, that's the profit level at which it will immediately try and sell. So I always set mine to 100 usually. Take profit percentage, that is working in conjunction with take profit weight and take profit move percentage. So what these mean, just like in the prior version, take profit weight, so you have your bot waiting X amount of time. If the profit percentage doesn't move more than, or if you're in profit and your percentage doesn't move by more than this percentage that I have set here over this waiting time, then it will take profit at a minimum level set here. So just remember that. Stop loss trigger, stop loss timeouts, of course. And then this is a nice little feature here, pending order wait. Yes, you can make your DCA orders move to pending if you want now. So if you set a pending order wait time in this field, it will wait that amount of time. If it hasn't sold, then it will push it off to your pending order log, or your pending log. It'll actually place a limit sell order for you on the exchange for your gain value. So it'll take whatever you set for your gain value and calculate that price from your gain value that you're looking to sell at, and then place that pending order, limit sell order out on the exchange. So that's a very, very nice feature here. You'll also have the option, if you use the advanced config, and I'll probably cover this more in depth on another video. If you go in the advanced config, I don't have it set up here, but if you go and take a look at the wiki, there is a pending order percentage, or pending order drop percentage, and so you can actually tell it to go to pending order if it drops a certain percentage when in DCA and it still hasn't sold. So that's another interesting feature. You have your DCA on/off toggle here down at the bottom. Remember, if you use this, you have to click the save config at the top in order to make it activate. So it's not just an immediate toggle. You do have to change it, then save it. Then you have your ignore sell only mode toggle here, your order book calculation there, and then combine pending. Now, I don't think I explained this very well in the pairs video, so I'll do my best here. The combine pending button is for when you're using the pending orders log, and say something has triggered the pending order, so that it's going to immediately try or move something from your DCA over to your pending log, and place that limit order out on the exchange. What combine pending does is it will allow it to combine all of the pending orders into a single pending order, and thus it will work by averaging your price down on that. So if it combines all the pending orders, it will average your price out on that pending order, and then it will basically, if it's got a pending order in the exchange, cancel that one and make a new one with the combined amount. So that's one way that you could do this. Now, if you turn off combined pending, as I have here, then it'll make individual pending orders as each one triggers. So you can actually have it move to pending and immediately make a limit sell order, and then you can have it, buy again, potentially wait out the pending order, hasn't sold, moves over to the pending log, makes a new limit sell order on the exchange for a different price. So, or it may not be a different price, it may be the same price. But it can Actually, no, it will be a different price because you bought it at a different level potentially. So if you bought it at a lower level, it potentially has a different profit level. So you could be having multiple orders out there at staggered intervals. So since you bought it at different price points, likely, then you would actually have different sell levels, and they'd be a little bit staggered. So you could potentially have it where you are selling little bits of what you're holding at a time as the profit comes back up from a dip. So that's one way to look at this. You can use your pending log now as a way to basically trade down and up through the prices as they just buy as it descends and then sells as it rises again eventually. So that is a nice new feature here with the combine or not combine pending. Now, I think that's about all I've got here for the DCA config. I will be going into more depth on the individual new features, except maybe the combined pending, because I think I've killed that one already. But I will be going into depth on a lot of the new features in future videos for each component here. I'm going to do new add-ons for pairs and new add-ons for DCA, and then we may even do some more in-depth videos for each one of those depending on how complex the new features are. So I'm going to make that call entirely dependent on how much time it takes to present them and how complex each new feature is in order to make a determination of whether or not they get their own video. So bear with me on that. I'm going to have a lot more coming up in the future, and in the next video I'm probably going to be covering the indicators config here in the GUI. So that is all I have for this video. If you like what you see on the video, go ahead and hit the like button down below. Please consider subscribing to the channel and click the subscribe button. And if you want to get updates of when we post new content, go ahead and hit the little bell icon right next to the subscribe button down below. As always, stay safe, happy trading, and we will catch you on the next video where I will cover the indicators config in the GUI. If you need any help with your ProfitTrailer client, please consult the wiki at wiki.profittrailer.com. And if you still have more questions, don't hesitate to join us over on the Discord support server following the link on your screen.